Alright, so typically I would start off my video with some kind of bad joke or some kind of setup to a bad joke, but I legitimately forgot this thing was coming out, and I'm glad I signed up for notifications and was able to grab one. It was announced alongside Super Mario All-Stars, and it is the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers, and we're gonna have a look at it today in another super cool unboxing. What do we have here? So this is the Game & Watch. It's kind of like a remake of those retro handhelds that kind of only did like one thing, except I didn't realize until recently, like the Game & Watch, it was actually a game and a watch. So this is also a watch, like it also just tells the time. And it also plays Super Mario Brothers 1 and then Super Mario Brothers The Lost Level, which hilariously just says Super Mario Brothers 2 in the little screenshot here. And I'm wondering if they're going to release more of these, because it seems like this outer box is where most of the Mario design actually is. A lot of it is not on the actual box for the Game & Watch. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box. I believe this has an internal battery as well. Not 100% sure, but it'd be weird to go back to having batteries for a Nintendo handheld, considering that since the original Game Boy Advance, they haven't had any of their handhelds use batteries. So I just wanted to get this main box out of here so that way we could better see the actual designs. Yeah, so this is the outer box. So this has most of the Super Mario design, like it has a little Bowser back here. And then this also puts the Super Mario design over the screen. So if we look at the actual box, it has Ball, which is one of those old school Game & Watch games where you literally try to catch balls. And so it gives you Ball, the time, Super Mario Brothers Lost Level, which is the Japanese version of Super Mario 2. They released a different Super Mario 2 in the US. It was actually a Japanese game called Doki Doki Panic that got released as Mario. Like they changed out the characters for Mario characters. And if you remember Super Mario 2, it felt really different than any other Mario game, and that's why technically it's a different game, because they felt like this game would be too hard at the time, like too difficult for the US market. So it did get released later as part of Super Mario All-Stars for Super Nintendo under Super Mario The Lost Levels, so that's why it says Super Mario Lost Levels, but the screenshot says Super Mario 2. That was a lot of information that wasn't necessary that some of you may have already known, but it's interesting nonetheless. So you get two games, you get Ball, and then of course it does the time, like it actually is a clock. This thing is $50, which, considering that you can play Super Mario 1 and then Super Mario 2 or Lost Levels in a variety of ways. Like if you have a Switch, it's already part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, plus they've released it like 100 times. But I don't know, to me, like as a whole, like kind of retro throwback type package, it just seems pretty cool. So what do we have here? So okay, so this does seem to have a built-in battery, and surprisingly it looks like this is a USB-C cable. So Nintendo actually went USB-C for this, which is surprising at, you know, a $50 price point. I mean, granted, you know, this thing only does one thing and it's a relatively short USB-C cable they give you, but it's still pretty cool. And then, oh, this is kind of cool. So inside of the box here, they put like special thanks to you, the little Mario Game & Watch guy. Some of you may remember Mr. Game & Watch from Smash Brothers, because that's the only thing that he's been in recently. I'm wondering if it says how much battery life it is, because obviously I'm not going to have enough time to test it for this video, but let's see if it at least gives an estimate. So I couldn't find anything definitive on battery life. I did see one thing that says it's around 8 hours. I imagine it's probably decent, considering that like this is a $50 thing that just plays a couple games. And here we are. So I instinctively reached for the triggers. It doesn't have any. It kind of reminds me of the GBA Micro. I actually did a video on that this year, just kind of revisiting it and playing some games, but it's a lot easier to hold than the Micro, and the screen's a little bit bigger. So the back of it and the sides are completely plastic. This front part kind of feels like a brushed aluminum, and then the D-pad is plastic. All the buttons are rubberized. except for the power button. The power button on the side is plastic. The game time and pause button and A and B are all rubberized. Which, like I said, I don't like the A and B being rubberized because since those are the main buttons, I feel like those are just wear down over time, and especially because it's like a softer rubber, or like if you have a sharp fingernail, you can end up digging into it really easily. But I'd say the build quality is really good. It actually feels quite solid, especially for a cheaper device. And then here's your power button. You have your power button on the side. It's a little bit inset along with the USB-C port. And then you have your game time, pause / set button, A and B, and then the directional pad, and it just says Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. So I really think that, considering that they call this Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers, and like I said, a lot of the branding's on this outer box, I really feel like they're probably going to do a whole line of these. Or maybe this is kind of like a test market for the GBA Classic, but maybe because it's a handheld, it's going to be more difficult to get the price down, because we saw with Sega, theirs was like $50 per handheld. They released 4 of them with the Game Gear. I can't remember if it was the mini or the micro, but they released 4 of them at $50 each, and then they each only had like 4 games on it. So maybe just from a price perspective, with the hardware, it's probably a lot more expensive to release something like a little mini Game Boy, but I feel like maybe this is them testing the waters. The screen is actually pretty bright and vibrant. Okay. So there is a volume setting, and then it has the battery life up here, and then you can set the volume and then the brightness. It gives you the options for each of the games. Speakers sound a bit tinny, but it's a lot better than I expected especially for the price point. And then you got your little pause menu, and then it actually gives you a reset game option there. The screen is surprisingly sharp and vibrant. You know, you get Mario 1 and then the Lost Levels, and then that ball game that I don't imagine that many people want to play because it's kind of one of those old kind of one-trick pony games. So for what it is and the fact that it actually does play some games, I think this is pretty cool. Now this is going to be more of like a collector's item, or kind of one of those cool, you know, Christmas gift type things, as far as my opinion. But I mean, if I got one for Christmas, I would think it's pretty cool, especially because it can at least play games. Like, it still plays Mario 1 and then Lost Levels, and it has ball. It's a little bit more practical and a lot more playable than one of those little arcade cabinet desk things. The little mini ones, they're like this big. They have little buttons up there, and you have the arcade stick in the buttons. So is it worth it for $50? I mean, I think so. As someone who just kind of likes to buy collectibles, it's not gonna be like the best value as far as like a retro gaming experience, because you're literally getting 2 games and then kind of 3 games if you count ball for $50, and then a clock. But as a retro collectible, it's really cool. So again, this is Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers from Nintendo. We'll have to see if they release any more. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace. Game and watch, because it's a game, but it also tells time. Oh, wow. Game and watch. Did people know? Did you know that?